And here's an interesting thing to do with one chip, especially let's say if this was a high value chip and you want to place a sort of a well-meaning bet out. Or when you're placing your blinds, this could also be a very fun thing to do just when you have to place out those pesky blinds every button round. Anyway, so here's the chip. You lay it flat out on your hand, and now you catch it on the back of your hand like so. After you do that, move your hand out, grab it in the middle. All right, I should probably explain a little bit more than just that. So here's the thing. The chip itself has to be parallel with the ground and the table to make it easy to be caught on the back of the hand. If you did this, it would most likely want to bounce off. You don't want that. So, make your hand flat, keep the chip flat, and all you're going to do is simply move your hand up in a small tossing motion, like so. When this tosses, like that, you have some distance. All you have to do is then turn your hand over. So, with speed, it would look like that. Once again, it's flat. You toss this up in the air, and you move your right hand, palm down, and allow the chip to fall flat on the back of your hand. Now, on the back of the hand, you're going to make sort of an outward sort of tossing motion this way. This then allows the chip to come off like so, where you grab with your right hand, which to speed would look like this. So out and around, so like this. This is the Muscle Pass, which is a very cool flourish for chips. Also be done with half dollars and silver dollars. In fact, probably the best way to practice this is with a silver dollar, which is a little heavier than the average chip, because you want to build up this muscle, and I'll explain that in a second. But first, look how pretty this is. The idea is that I'm actually not tossing up with this hand, but believe it or not, shooting the chip out from the palm of my hand. And I don't know if the camera can see this, but there's this nice big red mark from how many times I've done this today. And that's what you're going to get when you practice this. The idea is you're going to close your palm like this, using the base or the meatiest part of your thumb. Like this is your thumb all the way down, the meatiest part of your thumb, taking the coin in and just holding it very, very tightly. The idea is then eventually, as you build this muscle up, and I'm talking, you're going to want to hold on to this coin in this position for a long time. Watch TV, watch this video, for example, but keep this in your hand and pressing on it as hard as you can. That's going to build up this muscle so that you'll be able to eventually, once you totally get some pressure on it, it'll want to pop out like that. So once you finally get to it wanting to pop out, then you can learn how to control that. So, briefly, after you get this in this section, and again, when you do this enough, you will have a nice big red mark here and a nice big red mark here. And I'll be able to tell you exactly where you're going to put that coin back or that chip back every single time. This goes inside, holding it very, very tightly. Now, to make this impressive, if you just did that, it would just look like things were coming out of your hand. Cool, but not nearly as neat as if you use the left hand and start very low, because again, you're just starting off. To make that chip fly and catch it with the left hand. And that's probably going to be the hardest part, is trying to catch that every single time with the left hand. Like that, for example. Start slow, a small distance between, say, here and here. The left hand, since this hand is being held straight and is not in any way being lifted up and down, it's completely parallel the entire time. This hand then acts as sort of the, as magicians would say, misdirection. So you would watch here, this will then come up, you grab the coin there, like so. Now, of everything that we've placed on this DVD, this is probably the hardest. It's going to take the most practice, but I believe it's very much worth it.